Hello everyone, I'm Nora.
And my name is Ryan.
My name is Melody. And welcome to صدای دانشجو. Today we're very excited to have a guest, Amin Rouzi, who completed his bachelor's in chemical engineering at Sharif University, followed by a master's in computer science at the University of Tehran. His research focused on applying AI to medicine and healthcare, and he now works in AI research at UCLA Health. Thank you, Amin, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So just to get right started, can you tell us about your journey from studying in Iran to leading research at UCLA Health? What motivated your shift toward AI in healthcare?
So I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering at Sharif University in Iran. And then during my bachelor's, I developed an interest in AI and healthcare. So I switched my field to computer engineering in my master's. And then in that time, I had a mentor that he was a faculty at University of Northeastern. Actually, he told me that there are two fields to apply AI. One of them is finance, that there are lots of opportunities in there, and the other one is healthcare. So eventually, I just went through the AI in healthcare. And yeah, my master thesis actually was in breast cancer detection with AI. And that's how I started.
Very cool. And so what challenges did you face when transitioning from international education to research in the US, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, actually, I think one of the challenges, actually obvious challenges that for most students might be the case is that they might have lots of set of skills, but when applying to a new position and new university, they might find it challenging to find the right position and right faculty member. Personally, what I did was like attending to international meetings that were in AI in healthcare, and from those meetings, I was lucky to find my PI from there, and then I just get connected to him, and I asked about the projects that they were going on, and eventually, actually, I developed a model, so I took an action for that project. Because they were just doing some frailty assessment for older adults with sensor. And I said that, okay, if that's the case, I can do the same thing with AI. And then I developed the code, so he was interested in me. So I got recruited by him at Baylor College of Medicine.
What was the model for?
So that model is for frailty assessment for older adults. It's a simple elbow rotation, extension, and flexion model that from that actually speed, actually in this exercise, they should do 20 seconds of elbow rotation as fast as they can. So usually older adults, as they are doing this task, their speed of elbow decreases during the time, and from there I developed a score between 0 to 1 to give them that how frail they are. So this is basically what the model,
Wow, and you're able to do that with AI.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Go ahead.
Could you define what is the role of AI in that assessment?
So actually I can send you the paper to just be more in detail. I'm not sure if this is going to be too more detail, but let me know if it's too much detail. So actually they used to attach a sensor to a human's body. So the subjects just using the sensor to actually do the task. And that wasn't possible remotely because you cannot send the sensor to subject in his home to do the task. And then I said that, okay, if you are doing this, I can track the elbow of the subject without sensor by just using AI. So just record the video of the subject. I would give you the elbow rotation speed of that subject. So then I validate my AI model with the sensor-based one. And I say that, okay, you can just easily replace the AI model with the sensor version one, and you can use it easily remotely in patient's home. And as you know, one of the challenges that we have in healthcare is that now it's very crucial even for insurance companies to not to actually bring the patient to hospitals. So we are just trying to have patient care in place and shift the healthcare solutions that we have to people's home. So this would be very
make it more accessible.
more accessible and more cost efficient for insurance companies that we have.
Goes hand in hand with everybody having a camera in their back
Yeah,
pocket.
they can just do simple just reality assessment in their home.
So the AI, there is no standard set of like positional parameters, or maybe there is, but the AI, it calculates the distance from the camera for you. Like, how does that work?
So so we have automatic calibration of AI. So for example, in another project of mine, when we have a distance problem that we have, for example, for surgical proficiency project that I had, we know the distance between this joint to this joint is about 4 centimeters and half. So from that distance, I calibrate the distance. So it doesn't matter that if you are close to the camera or you are far from the camera, if you have something that we know the distance of it approximately, you can just calibrate it. And then the distance from the object doesn't matter. So that's how basically it works. I hope it's not too technical.
It's very interesting. So I know you've worked on surgical dexterity analysis and you even submitted a patent. Can you walk us through what that project entails and what impact it could have on surgical training or outcomes?
So let's start, I think, from the gaps that we have. One of the gaps that we have in medical education, specifically for residents, is that when our expert surgeons wants to train the new residents that they are super fresh in tasks like suturing, there's no standard way of grading them in those specific tasks. Like in our department of surgery at UCLA Health, I just witnessed a video that a surgeon, a resident were just doing a suturing, and for the same video, 2 different experts graded differently. So one of them graded, okay, this task I would give 90 out of 100, and other surgeon for the same video gave 50 out of 100. Wow. So that is the gap, that there's no standard method to just grade those surgical tasks. And now here I came up with an idea that, okay, if we have the gap, let's make it standardized. Let's make it consistent for everyone, because each hospital, then we have different surgeons and different people give different scores. So that was basically a gap that we had.
How does the AI, so it's an AI watching this recording, and how does it operationalize into a score, just physical actions that it's seeing?
So so this was the gap that I explained. Now what we did, so we recorded a video of new residents that they were just doing the suturing task in an artificial just skin that we had in there. And as they were just doing it, I recorded several videos from fresh residents that they were just super fresh with surgery, and some expert surgeons. Actually, we have Dr. Peyman Ben-Haraj in our department. He's the head of Department of Surgery, and he's great, amazing surgeon. So we recorded lots of videos from expert surgeons, and then I look at those videos and I compare them. So with AI, I track their hand motion. So we had hand motion of all the expert residents, expert surgeons, and fresh residents, fresh surgery residents.
How do you define, or how does the AI define hand motions? So it's the proficiency of the hand motions? Does it?
I will reach to that point.
Yeah, I guess maybe an aside question would be, how does it take into account, or does it take into account other variables? Like, does it have in the back of its head the patient chart in mind? Like, was it positive, negative outcome correlated to these hand motions? What is the relative standard?
Yeah.
I wanted to follow up with that as well and ask, does the AI collaborate with, or do you guys collaborate with the clinicians at all, or is it very like?
Yes, we do collaboration with physicians. But for your question, so usually the AI models that we have, people think that these are just black boxes. You put something in it and you get some output out of it. So we didn't want it to just be like this because we would like to see what are the real differences between fresh residents and expert surgeons. So what we did, we defined some parameters. First of all, we tracked the wrist of the surgeons, all of the just videos that we collected from both groups, and then we saw the difference. So for example, in expert surgeon group that we had, they were just using both of their hands. Very perfect harmony of hand motion. They utilized both of their hands. But in novice surgeons, we saw that, okay, this guy is just moving this hand and then this hand freezes, the other hand works.
I see.
So from
They
those
lack the
differences,
dexterity.
we simply give them feedback. And from these feedbacks, we saw the learning curve. We give them a score. In the first week of training, we saw that, okay, this guy, we had actually a case that he was a fresh resident. In the first week of the training of suturing, he got 4 out of 10. And in the next week, his score improved. After our feedback, his score improved to 8 out of 10. So almost near to expert surgeons. So we give them feedback like that, and this actually eventually helped them to
And
improve
to clarify,
their score.
that's the patterned similarity of smoothness and motion to multiple expert physicians. It's kind of normalized.
Yes, pattern is one of them. Another one, as I said, is just using both hands at the same time. Another one was like just losing the surgical tool, because as they were holding the suturing tools with this device that
lose
I
the
forgot
grip.
its name, grip, sometimes they miss it. So we
I see.
count the number of missings that they had. But expert surgeons didn't just
They
miss
didn't
it.
miss.
They will just start it and finish it soon, and the outcome that you see on the skin was super clean. All the knots from each other were consistent, same difference, same distance from each other. But novice surgeons, here you see, for example, small distance between the suturing that you have, small distance between the knots, and then you see inconsistency. So that was a kind of just scoring system that we
Do you think those are things that you would be able to identify just by looking at it? Or I'm trying to see like how important is AI in tracking that?
Yeah, the final product that we have, probably, as you can see, even the human eye can give some score, some sort of score. But the way that they are doing it, for example, sometimes they might just miss that tool. So we don't see that in the final product.
Right.
So the smoothness also matters here.
Right.
So do you think instead you can use this AI tool to teach them before they're getting like examined?
Yes, because actually when even not in surgery, but in every field, when you are learning something in a wrong way, you are going to adapt that wrong way. And then it will be challenging to change it to the correct way. So if you learn something, specifically in surgery that you are dealing with people's life, if you are just doing it in a right way, you will just continue doing it right way.
Yeah.
Does the AI operationalize or take into account any binary answers? Like qualitatively, yes or no, did they do this or did they not? Are there any parameters like that?
That depends. Actually, we don't have a binary outcome. We have some kind of continuous outcome.
Yeah.
So it's not binary. It's a just continuous range of numbers. For example, the score is between 0 to 10.
Every
so it's not
parameter is
binary.
continuous.
Actually, you can just simply say that, okay, below 8 score is just bad.
I think as
above
an
8
extreme,
is
like if
good.
they made a major critical error, right?
Yeah.
Like binary answer would be no, they did not do this like basic function, and that would like drastically decrease their score.
Yes.
But there's nothing like that. It's kind of assumed.
Yeah, there's no binary, but as you said, yeah, if they just did something crazy, that's going to just decrease their score. Yeah.
So what sorts of projects are you working on now? I'm very curious.
One of the interesting projects that I'm working on. So these days, as you know, ChatGPT and large language models just made lots of buzz. So one of the projects that we have is
I think we all use ChatGPT every day.
yeah. Yeah, everyone is using ChatGPT. So one of the projects that specifically I'm working on right now is for diabetic foot ulcer patients that we have. So these are just some, most of them are older adults that they have some wounds and ulcers under their feet. So some of them, we give them a smart boot that this smart boot tracks that if they are using the boot while they're walking or they're not using it. So we track and we see them. So sometimes because they don't have any feeling on their feet because of diabetes, they feel nothing. That's why sometimes they forget, and sometimes some of them have memory issues, so they forgot having those boots on. Wow. The thing is that we developed an app for them so they can just chat and ask their questions, that how do I just pair this sensor with my boot, and if I have any question about diabetes or any question about my situation, and we personalize that chatbot to each patient. So it's specifically just answering that specific subject's questions. And then we design a smart notification. So when they are not using the boot, we send them a smart notification like, okay, you are not now using the boot, you are having steps, just use it. And after that, we saw that our subjects in 66% of the time after notification, that helps them to just use the boot.
It holds them accountable.
And they became more adherent. And as you know, it's super, actually every 20 seconds, someone is losing limb out of diabetes.
Wow.
So this is...
That's very interesting.
Does AI adapt to my continued questioning? So if I have an AI app that is personalized to me, does it adapt to my continued questioning in an objective way? Does it adapt to it specifically to a personalized way? Is it, entirely dependent on the model, the framework? Or does it do it in a way that's almost like validating the confirmation biases or the expectations of the individual, like a YouTube algorithm would? It tries to be predictive, or is it objective?
Yeah, that's a great question. So before, actually the way that it's personalized is that for each subject, we have a sort of information. Okay, this subject's case is like this, the wound size is this, the improvement is like this. So you just put all the information and then you pass it to the model, and then you get the personalized answers, as you mentioned.
I'm skeptic of AI in many areas, but that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good.
Scary. So AI is rapidly changing. It's probably one of the fastest growing fields. So as someone who works in AI research in healthcare, where do you see AI in healthcare going in the next, 5 or even 10 years, or even in the next year? Because it just is changing so much every single day.
So personally, as I said, most of the projects like frailty thing that I mentioned, or the diabetic foot ulcer that I mentioned, most of them are related to older adults. And according to statistics, by 2030, 1 out of 5 American would be 65 years old or older. Oh. So this shows this shows the opportunity to just develop an AI model. It can be any kind of AI model to older adults to support our older population that we have in the US.
Yeah. So do you see there being like an AI platform for pretty much every condition? I mean, it's hard to say because you can't replace a human, or do you think you can replace a
AI
human?
physician?
Right, basically. That's kind of what I'm asking.
I think right now, I think AI tools can be just supportive to patients. For example, for diabetic foot ulcer patients that I said, we use AI for education purposes.
Right.
AI doesn't diagnose or doesn't just prescribe anything.
Come on, give it to us straight. Is the AI going to replace us or no? How many years until it does replace us?
I don't think that
I
will
think in
happen.
diagnosis, maybe. Because I know even now they use it for, like, I think for some like CT scans.
Right.
They're able to identify small.
Important of avoiding those major areas of malpractice.
Yeah.
And it's not intentional.
No.
I think in radiology, yes, because it's super common. Personally, I do have a paper in breast cancer that, according to the literature, actually I remember that was my master thesis, the AI in breast cancer. I remember that in that time, I read a paper that it said that 30 to 40% of the time, physicians and radiologists misses those tiny tumors, tiny breast cancer tumors.
Yeah, I saw
and it's very
something
common. 1 out of 8 women is suffering from breast cancer.
Yeah.
How
Which is
often does
unfortunate.
AI do it? How often does AI miss?
Actually, the model that we developed, actually, it had a 95% of accuracy. So,
Wow.
So this is 5% of the time.
Yes.
I know we talked about diagnosis, but what about intervention?
For intervention, actually, the boot study that I mentioned, this is
Yeah.
kind of just intervention to just,
Okay,
interfere.
so safe to say AI is doing it all. Yeah.
I think it's a combination of healthcare staff and clinicians that we have with AI, because most of the engineers, I think there's a big gap between clinicians and engineers that we have. Engineers sometimes become too technical
Yeah.
that clinicians do not understand them. And sometimes
Yeah.
engineers think of a solution of a problem that it's not exist for clinicians.
Yeah.
So that's why just
They work together.
if they work together, or if engineers just collaborate with
Yeah.
clinicians to just address the right problem, I think that
I've actually always, just funny story, I've always gotten along really well with engineers because I think the difference in perspective is really nice, because I think your way of thinking is so different from my way of thinking or our way of I can't speak for all of you, but it's just so different.
It's a new perspective.
It's a very different perspective.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I always tend to enjoy like picking your brain on topics and seeing how you think. It's very interesting to me.
Is there never the question of what more can we do? Or is it always that question? It's always what more can we do? Like there's never a stopping point.
What do you mean by more?
As an engineer, like you can always do something more. There's always something to advance on.
You mean as a just clinician, what we
As
can
an
do more,
engineer.
or as an engineer? I think, as I said, that there are lots of gaps in healthcare. As I mentioned you before, in healthcare, we have lots of barriers to just bring engineering tools and solutions to play. You have a barrier like IRB, you have barrier of FDA approval. You cannot just bring any device that you develop to healthcare. So that's why I think that if you can just come up with an idea and get the support of clinician, because at the end you need a clinician to refer you a patient to test your the device that you have, and then actually you can go from there and you can just develop your own device. Yeah.
Okay. And I think we're running out of time, but I wanted to thank you so much for coming. This was very interesting. It is a growing topic, and it's very interesting to hear your perspective. And I wanted to thank you all, and we'll see you next time.